Hello, I'm Lori Ann Lumbee with Soul School, and this is Soul Lessons. The topic of this week's lesson is faith. Doesn't mean what you think it might mean. This is one of my favorite topics to explore and discuss with clients and students, especially in several of my online courses, because faith is a topic that, it's a word that has been defined by religion and indoctrinated into us as part of our culture. Faith specifically being something that requires effort. In the stories of Scripture where Jesus, for example, talks about faith, we are led to believe that if you have the faith the size of a mustard seed, you can move that mountain. Meaning, if you just have big enough faith. If you just work hard enough on that faith. If you take all the effort in the world to execute that faith, you can move that mountain. But the reality is that faith has absolutely nothing to do with effort. In order to understand that, we have to go back and look at some other understandings of human consciousness and at least my understanding of who we are, why we're here, and what we're doing. So to begin that, let's look at the definition, my definition of soul. Soul, as I understand it, is the uniquely creative way in which we've been gifted to find meaning and purpose in our lives. That soul, as I understand it and have experienced it, is a force. It is an invisible force within us that compels us to seek the fulfillment of our soul. It compels us to seek meaning and purpose in our lives. It compels us to seek and discover what our unique gifts might be. It compels us, after identifying those gifts, to nurture and cultivate them. It also compels us to seek the healing and transformation of those inner wounds that might otherwise prevent us from living our soul's purpose. That same force within us supports and facilitates the process of discernment. We might call it our inner barometer. It's that guide that tells us when we are on the path of our highest good. It is also the guide that tells us when we're not. And it does that telling through what I call felt sense, emotions, feelings, experiences within our body, physical feelings that alert us to you're on the right path or danger, you're moving in a way contrary to your soul. Faith is a function of that soul's energy. St. Paul, in his letter to the Hebrews, described faith in this way. Faith is the evidence of things hoped for and proof of things unseen. What Paul didn't do, however, is identify the origins of this faith and how that faith moves from origin to outcome. The philosopher and psychologist who I think best defines faith is Sri Aurobindo and his co-equal partner, the mother. This is his definition, taken from his book, A Greater Psychology. Faith is a certitude of the soul, which does not depend on reasoning, calling the lower nature out of its petty present to a greater self-becoming. Faith from this perspective is a natural unfolding of the soul. It's a natural unfolding of our gifts. It's a natural unfolding of our purpose and our mission. Faith gives us that decisive certitude that we are in the right place, making the right decisions, following the right path. Faith moves beyond reason, because oftentimes our faith tells us something, leads us towards something, guides us towards something for which there is absolutely no logical explanation or means of support. It's something where we just know. We just know that we are on the right path. We just know that certain things will work out for us. We just know that we'll be cared for. We just know that this is the right place for us to be. Or we might just know it's the wrong place for us to be. I think of faith like a superpower, except it doesn't require effort. If it requires effort, now we're talking about something called belief. Belief requires effort. We have to believe we'll be okay. We have to believe that good things will happen. We have to believe that we're on the right path. We have to believe in a divine, benevolent force. We have to believe in the gratitude that we tell ourselves. We have to believe in the positive affirmations that we use to support ourselves in our journey. Belief requires effort. And ultimately, if we're trying to believe something, then we're working against our faith. Because the faith just knows. Faith just knows. And we just know, whether it be that knowing that is hopeful and good and fulfilling. It's that same knowing that something is life-sucking, draining, horrific. So when Jesus said, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you can move that mountain, what he really meant was, if it is in your soul's purpose to move that mountain, you will be able to. The same goes for every other quote where Jesus uses that word faith, saying, it's your faith that has healed you. It's not because that person required effort to believe. They just knew. They just knew that connecting with a great healer would heal them. They just knew because it was part of their soul's purpose. By the same token, if it's not our soul's purpose to move a mountain, no matter how hard we try to believe that we can, we cannot. What I like about this perspective on faith is it takes the burden off our shoulders of effort. Because with the soul to guide us, with that inner barometer that leads us on the path of our soul's purpose, with those inner sensations that tell us the soul is speaking. We don't need to do anything. Instead, we rest in being and allow the soul to guide us, to move when it says move, to stop when it says stop, and to know through faith what is for us and what is not. I'm Lorianne Lumbee with Soul School, and this was Soul Lessons. If you found this to be helpful or informative, please like and subscribe to this channel. Please share this video with your friends. And if you're interested in finding out more about the services and the programs that I offer at Soul School, please check out my website, www.loriannlumbee.com. Thank you.